Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Historical Humans Reacts. And this time we're coming to you from the future, past, something in between. No, actually, this is
Time's all wibbly wobbly.
timey-wimey. Yeah, archaeology, it's all over the place. But this is a really cool story of an archaeologist from the past communicating with the future, where an archaeologist in the 19th century left a message in a bottle in an excavated part of an old Gallic or Gallic? Gallic?
Gaulit? That was Gaulish. Is this not in
G
French?
A L L I C. There's a lot of things with similar
Oh,
spellings,
that's Gaelic. That's Gaelic.
but there's no E. It's not Gaelic. But anyways, they're excavating
If
a
it's Gallic,
2,000 year
it's
old
French.
Gallic, and they're excavating a site on a 2,000-year-old site that's on the cliffs near a port city of Dieppe, which is in Normandy. And
Oh,
they the reason they're re-excavating this portion of the site though is because it is being threatened by the sea. I think in one of the other articles they were saying that it was because of the ocean. It was threatened by the ocean or something along those lines.
So what happened, I think, is the ocean started undercutting some of the rock it's built into, and part of the Oppidum, which is the fortified city, started to fall into the ocean. And so before it all completely slides off into the sea, the archaeologists are going out there to try and find everything.
Yeah, and Guillaume Blondel, who is the head archaeologist and works for the nearby town of U as an archaeologist, said that this time capsule was left in a sector that has been excavated for a long time and is now being threatened by the retreat of the coastline. Like, that's a very interesting way of saying erosion. But effectively,
the
yeah,
dam.
they ended up finding this, which is actually kind of cool. They were finding a bunch of Gallic artifacts, which included ancient shards of pottery, and what they found was inside a clay pot, so he had left it inside of there. An archaeologist by the name of P.J. Ferret left a message to future archaeologists, which read P.J. Ferret, a native of Dieppe, a member of various intellectual societies, carried out excavations here in January 1825. He continues his investigations in the vast area known as Cité des Limes, or Caesar's Camp, which is interesting because you very rarely see a lot of these early archaeologists, and a lot of times the early archaeologists we get are like Hans Schliemann, or is it Heinrich or Han? I think Heinrich.
Heinrich. It's Heinrich.
Heinrich Schliemann, who just excavated the city of Troy with TNT. He just lit the wick and yeeted the stick. And yeah, this is an actual kind of cool note from the men in the past. And we were talking about this a bit off camera, but what a way to describe yourself as a man of various intellectual societies.
Yeah. Now, one of the fun things with this note, he actually did give the archaeologists enough information to look him up, and they found him about 200 years ago. They confirmed his residency, and they also were able to confirm that one of his first excavations was in this area.
Oh, and it's
Just
a Gaulish village, by the way.
yep, yep.
But yeah, it's just a cool little note. And oftentimes one of the hardest things as archaeologists is to go back and restart previous excavations and to try and relocate previous work. It's one of the biggest struggles that modern archaeologists have with historic record is a lot of times in the past they didn't necessarily note the most absolute location. They didn't pop specific GPS coordinates in. No, instead they said this excavation was 5 steps away from the big oak tree. And you look around and you're in an empty field and you go, oh, well, that's helpful. And yeah, to try and retrace the steps, but to leave a message for future archaeologists or for just anyone in the future, that's honestly kind of respectful. Like, that goes mad hard, in my opinion.
You
And
know, it's definitely a fun thing. And also, what's very fun about this too is This was an archaeologist conducting an excavation, and the tool of that excavation, this note, has been around so long it has itself become an archaeological artifact.
Oh no, the archaeologist
This note was
wormhole.
written in 1825.
Yeah, over 200 years old, which is mad impressive. And what I think is really cool here, and that I love seeing, is in this specific article, it actually shows the pictures of the student archaeologist who excavated the note and who were working on this project. And more than anything, I just love to see them get their props. Because, obviously they're students, so this is probably their first or second excavations, still learning how to do the field work. And when you find something that cool, I can speak from experience, it cements your love and passion. Like, you get hooked on that feeling, and you start chasing that thunder everywhere you go. Like, I feel like everyone remembers their first big discovery.
We at my second field school in Italy, we did something similar. We put like a little note in a plastic baggie for the next year's students, and I think they still do the tradition.
There you go.
But it's still cool, like every time you find it.
And it's not something that I think we ever really talk about, because archaeology as a whole is a very extractive exercise. You remove the item from its context, from its location. Like, history is a finite resource, and people look at me bizarrely when I say that, but the history that we have is limited. It is what's left of what was there. And to see someone kind of have that foresight to go, maybe one day someone will come across it, maybe not, who knows? This is a cool site, it's quite prominent. I'm going to leave a note and, just leave their mark. And I also just kind of love it because I talk about this a lot, but humans never change. Humans have remained the same throughout time. We continuously do the exact same thing. And Cullum shaking his head, but that people will leave notes. They will go, I was here. I was here. You have the Romans doing it. You have French soldiers doing it. You have American soldiers doing it. You have P.J. Ferret doing it. Humans throughout time just love letting people know that they were there doing something.
Yeah.
I don't deny that there's fundamental aspects of human nature. I just deny the extent of your universalizations.
Every human is dumb because we all do the same things. Yeah. But it's kind of cool. And one of the things we didn't talk about that I think we'll highlight real quick here is archaeology is a relatively new field. I mean, in 1825, he is one of the very first archaeologists. And you could tell because he was a member of intellectual societies, but he wasn't an archaeologist by name at that point. At this time, it was a lot of really rich, wealthy guys that had time and academic interests, and usually fairly well educated, that would go out and go, oh, yes, I think there might be something here. Let me spend time to excavate and write up about it. They're fairly well to do if you had time to do it. But I think that's enough rambling here. I'm going to cut this here. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, let us know, and we'll see you in the next one.